looking fresh.
Fantastic evening.
Huh.
It's been a long day. I can tell you guys, we just came from Abuja where we went to submit the list of all of our candidates at the state level, gubernatorial candidates, and also members of the House of Assemblies across 36 states. So we have that submitted. I just got information that that's all done now. And for those of you who have been asking us to bring to you one of the most important personalities, right, on our ticket, right? That's the man we introduced to you last week, and all of you have been saying that you're impressed with his resume. Now we have him. All of you have been asking, want to hear Dr. Rafiu come explain himself, let him talk. Does he talk? Does he not talk? Is he shy? Well, I'm going to let him all out tonight so that he can explain what he's all about and how we came about choosing him of all the millions of people out there who has been dying to be on the ticket with us. But we are very sure, and as you all trusted us, that we chose the best out of Jigawa State, Dr. Rabiu, who is a public health professional. He's been to school in Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. And one of the reasons why we settled and narrowed down to a professional of his status was because when we were doing our research and survey as to what is most important to Nigerians as we go into 2019, we were shocked. We're not shocked, but it was interesting that people weren't asking for jobs as much as security or even power. The main concern was having health. So health was their first thing. So, we just want you to look at the camera here, there, and introduce yourself to our viewers, and trust that you get a lot of questions. They've been waiting for you. Sorry.
Bring them on.
Yeah.
We love it.
Wow, look at that.
Good evening, brothers and sisters, comrades, friends, wherever you are and however you may be listening to us. I welcome you to today's session, and I'm glad that I'm here with you on stage, and I have been humbled by this invitation, and I'm glad that I'm here today. I've met quite a number of Nigerians in the country, between Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, over the last couple of weeks, and they've been expressing enthusiasm and hopes and happiness over my selection to be the running mate of this very important person. And I also want to thank the African Action Congress as a party and congratulate Nigerians and Nigeria for actually having this kind of movement where we are going to take back this country to a path of decency.
More people want you to just increase your volume.
Prosperity,
yes,
and peace. And here I am trying to reach out to Nigerians on this very important platform to speak to you and to ask you to continue to support us. We know that we cannot just do it alone. We need your support, we need your backing, we need your ideas. This country has been messed up for a large part of its existence due to reckless policies and toxic policies being undertaken. And we need actually to change back, and that's why we came up with the Takeitback. We're going to take this back. We're going to take this country back. Come 16th of February, we're going to have a big celebration of kicking this current government out of power.
Wow.
With your votes, we're going to do it.
So I told you guys, this guy is loaded and articulate. He's very humble on the outside, but inside, he's loaded and he understands what needs to be done to take our country back. And that is why we made the choice. And when we made the choice, we're very, very certain that we made the right choice. And just your opening statement, in my view, confirms it. You know clearly what you want for your country, Nigeria. and what other Nigerians out there want. The other thing that's very important is that it's very clear that the vice presidential debate is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, sure. Bring it on.
Yes.
I can't wait to debate with the current vice president, because I'm going to be a vice president that's different from the current one. I'm not going to be in action only when Mr. President is
out of the country. Yes.
For sick leave. And that's when he comes into action.
Yes.
And I've not been chosen just to come here for federal character sake.
Yes. Because that's very important,
yes,
That was
pedigree and personality and the kind of aluta soul that is needed.
Yes.
I have just been reminded of a very important motto of the hospital that I trained for nearly 20 years. Each time I woke up, the logo of my alma mater teaches me a lot, which the Arabic script says Al-Khidmatul Insaniya Mukhlisa, meaning selfless services to humanity. And that's what health service and public service is about.
Yes.
I happen to be privileged to be born in a home of educators, whereby the idea to send children to school, to invest in them so that they can be the leaders of this country with ideas that the 21st century needs, was the craving and yearning of my parents. And I have never taken that for granted, and that's the kind of privilege that I want to see being spread across the country, east, west, south, north, whereby the investment in education will now be the biggest asset Nigeria would have in the future. The current government actually hasn't done enough in education, and we have policies in our manifestos that are going to take this country to greater height in terms of educational attainment, skills, job, and what have you. So it's really important, and that's why it is part of our strategies to have health also tackled, because a healthy nation is a wealthy nation.
That's right.
And I happen to have a background in public health, where prevention is being emphasized, and I still believe in the old saying that prevention is better than cure. We are going to have a very robust health system, so that our Nigerian friends don't have to always seek care abroad.
Yes.
I see it firsthand when I listen to families, when I listen to children being brought to our hospital. It's a very sick nation. Diseases are happy. I always see the current minister as minister of disease, not minister of health.
Wow.
And
they
always want us to go back to the disease palaces, hospitals, and work. This time around is about changing the social determinants of diseases, investing in training of health workforce, and then of course upgrading our facilities, actually, so that we balance the tide of the inverse triangle we see, whereby the health services are honestly needed at the periphery, at the villages, at the primary healthcare settings, and that's where there is serious deprivation. There are no manpower, there are no equipment, whereas the federal level is having much of the budget, where people are, better, health-wise, and the diseases are fewer than the rural communities.
Yeah.
So the inverse triangle is going to be changed to a more perfect square, whereby horizontally across the country there are going to be health services that are of improved quality than what we have currently.
Yeah. Take it back. Action. Thank you. So most people, this one is politics now, not health, will say, you come from northern part of Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari is seen as a popular person in the north. Nobody can defeat him. People like to hear, do we have a chance, in the north to defeat Buhari? Because the myth has always been that Buhari is this, God that cannot be defeated.
Yeah, but no more actually. I understand the system that people in himself actually has some problems with that personality, and people sometimes take it, the spin masters, of course.
Yes.
These are the people on the social media disturbing the space, thinking that he has some divinity attached to him like Jesus Christ. But we're going to shake that delusion. He's no longer that, case. The corruption he said he's going to tackle, I think
has festered.
Yes. And then the issue with Boko Haram, the security situation, we have seen escalation of violence that is driven by ethnic and religious sentiment, the terrorism and the mayhem in Zamfara state.
Yes.
And of course even northeast, there are a lot of issues there. The Boko Haram, they have not been defeated. In my sense, you have not tackled the most important causes why people, take religion and get radicalized and so on.
Why?
Social injustices, poverty, illiteracy, ignorance, and disease. These are the things that the government should tackle first. Because if you put all Boko Haram, ISIS, and Sambisa forests and gas them tomorrow, so long as the ideas are not being tackled, I don't think you go that far.
Yes.
So this is why I don't think he has that chance of being re-elected in northern Nigeria, because our people there are looking for better health services, are looking for best ways to mop up the 20 million children as Almajiri running our streets that do not have shelter, classroom, teachers, and educational materials. They are always hungry. You see them begging.
Yes.
So he hasn't done much in that. We haven't seen much in terms of infrastructure. The current government always talk about building road. That's not the only infrastructure we need. We need much more than that. That's why in our manifesto we have outlined a number of roads that are going to be built and the old ones be refurbished. Recently I caught up with some farmers in my constituencies in Jigawa State. I was going out for an outreach and I met a number of them. Their farms have been inundated by floods. There are no dams. Some
to divert the water.
Yeah, of course, infrastructure. So this is just the harvest season, but they have nothing to harvest to go home. So their hunger start now. I don't know what will come up them until the next rainy season, which is going to be next mid-year.
Wow.
So these are the constant things we see. The agriculture, he said he's going to improve. I haven't seen cotton farming. I haven't seen wheat farming being talked about. They're only talking about rice. That's still food crop. We want some money in this country.
We must have the ability to
we are lucky
grow cash crop and export.
Whereby cotton can be produced. All of us here are wearing some form of
cotton,
and we need it. At a point in time, cotton was so important that they were exchanging gold for cotton.
Yes,
and this can be growing in most of our northern states, and then it has been done. Look, when you now move actually to areas of tourism,
yes,
this country has some of the most interesting landscape and places. I talk of Yankari in Bauchi State.
I went to Yankari Game Reserve before.
To think of the Benin Empire, their history, the Kano Wars, the Sokoto Caliphate, and the Maiduguri axis also. But nothing is being done to tap into such, and it's going to be a very important source of revenue for the country as a whole. We want to be one of the UNESCO treasure sites. We want to see people coming to this country actually to invest in tourism industry and
take it back.
AAC.
Take it back.
These are the things actually that actually we really have to do.
Yeah. You guys probably have questions before you do so. The only thing we get a lot of responses, they said they want you to speak louder.
Oh, louder. Sometimes a very shy individual, but roar like a lion. I've seen you do that.
Yeah, they want you to roar like a lion.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I can actually.
Yes.
So we'll be louder. Actually.
Yes, please be very loud.
If I start shouting, the roof in Asoro will begin to collapse.
Yeah, that's
take it back. Action.
Thank you very much, Doc. Do you want to tell a little bit about your background? But I want all of the questions that will be asked to be driven by the viewers, not those of us on the couch tonight. because you are the most important person here tonight on the couch. They know me, they know the rest of us, but they have been waiting for you for a long time.
Interesting. I'm from Ringim, a town, a local government headquarters in Jigawa State, but we don't have a bank yet.
You don't have a bank?
There is no bank in that local government.
Wow.
So when I talk to the youth about setting up businesses to have some business proposals, they complain of that. I have a mother. Now, I lost my father 2.5 years ago. And each time I'm to send some money for her antihypertensive, I have to go through hell.
Wow.
That's the problem. And that is the town of Malam Ilaringi, who was one of the NEPO activists. And my father actually suffered a great deal under the NEPO during the pre-independence politics, because they were jailed in 1958, and his crime was only organizing and actually having people to come together to fight the tyranny that was being meted against them at that time.
Wow.
And so he saw that his children are going to be educated, and then I happened to be one among the other 7 siblings that I have.
You have 7 brothers and
yes.
brothers and sisters?
Yeah,
wow.
brothers and sisters. And my 2 elder brothers, interestingly, are engineers.
Wow.
Who are also in
And
different
this
walks of
defeats
life.
the whole notion that people don't go to school in the North.
Yes, and we were never rich. We've never had any political resources that was acquired illegally or through corrupt means or corrupt practices. My father had always devoted his life to teaching and learning. So my house was a small university where people come to learn with him.
Yes.
And then my projectile was to go to a secondary school in Brununkudu, which is a very famous school. Dangote attended the same school, several governors and so on. So that's where I started, and I was taught a lot of good things. I just gave a credit to a person called Olusola Ajayi. He's now in New Jersey. I think he met you sometime.
Yeah.
He taught me computer. There's an Igbo guy called John Onumara Okechukwu, who taught me science, physics, and chemistry. So
were they coppers? Were they youth coppers?
At that time. So I saw firsthand how you can be built by different people and the diversity in this country, and that really propelled me to go and chase medical education at Bayero University, Kano. BUK. And at the time I graduated, it happened to be the best medical faculty in the whole country.
Wow.
And then during my house job was my first contact with the public service, actually giving that selfless services to humanity.
Wow.
In Bauchi, treating people with snake bites, cancers, maternity wards, with the maternal and health services in pediatrics. And then I ended up in your village.
Where's that?
State.
Wow.
Yes, I was.
And we were not bitten by a snake.
Yes. But I had lots of trouble,
Yeah.
Trying.
Although people are very troublesome.
Trying to go through the accident and emergency, cases and so on.
Yeah.
And then during the weekends, we go for outreach services across Olusegun Agagu's.
That was Agagu was the governor then. Later Agagu.
Later.
Okay, so you went.
I've been to Elijah as well.
Wow.
And I've been to all the 18 local governments of Ondo,
including my own.
Yes.
Did you get on the canoe?
Yeah. Around the communities.
Wow.
Yeah, very interesting. I've eaten from all the different dishes there.
Which one did you like most?
I think pounded yam is my favorite.
Wow, pounded yam.
Yes, sure.
Pounded yam. We are eating
Absolutely.
You tonight.
Yeah. And then continue to actually seek for more education. That's why I took a specialty public health. But at a point, I felt there was need for an upgrade. So all the money I earned from my salaries, I had to sponsor myself to study in Britain.
So you sponsored yourself?
Absolutely. There wasn't any scholarship. I didn't know nobody in government.
Wow.
And my father felt, yes, wherever you can go to moon to study.
Wow.
Only yesterday I saw something that really terrified me.
What was that?
The Asura was in serious jubilation. I thought it was a Nigerian that achieved moon landing.
Okay, what happened?
Knowing that it is YX certificate. Presented.
This our VP has got a sense of humor, man.
Come on, no, sure.
Attestation certificate.
Minister of Education was there. All the aides were, and I was like, what was? So that's it. So when I came back with more energy.
Yeah.
Having had the Western style of university education, the combative approach to debating issues, and so on, to also teach. So after I qualified from Amin Kano Teaching Hospital, I said, well, it's been a while that I haven't been to my village. You know, I was in Kano, you know, in a large hospital, and I went to the rural communities. I headed 2 departments. I also became the pioneer dean at the new college, Faculty of Medicine at Federal University, Dutse. Employing people, inspiring children, speaking to the new students onto university campuses. That is about hard work, dedication, and study hard, and so on. And that's the gospel I kept spreading all this while. So it gives me energy, and how lucky is that?
Wow. This is amazing, Lord. So now people are going to ask you questions. They will ask you, and trust they will ask you hard questions. So
please do.
Trail your voice, you know, and speak louder and talk more. Yeah. Do you have any questions for him?
What is your take on restructuring?
Such a very difficult one. You remember you were very active in the 90s when ASU would now say, we want autonomy.
Yes.
Their definition of autonomy is different from the government.
Yes.
Students also had their differences with what autonomy
meant.
So structuring here in this country, it also depends on who is speaking to you. Some people think maybe it's a way actually to corner, you know, more territory, to hijack more resources from people. But if it is about coming to terms with only real realities, the issues that need to be debated or to be subjected to referendum, or issues actually that will bring about, you know, self-determination by the states actually to create their own policies, their own terms, and how to achieve their own goals. Well, that's the kind of restructuring. But for the poor, they need the economic restructuring because the poor have been skewed over many years, opportunities and been given. The youth are there, you know, suffering. In the north, they take codeine. Here, some of them actually engage in cyber crimes. So if it is to restructure our society so that decency and morality is introduced, this is what the structuring meant to me, and that's what I want to pursue. Yeah.
But do you feel like people in the northern part of the country feel threatened when they hear the word restructuring, to the extent that they feel like, oh, you know, we're going to lose control or access to some of the resources from down south?
You know, they say resource control.
Yes.
But I remember there was some in government who said even the richest state in the country is not Bayelsa, is Zamfara State.
Why?
Actually, they have enormous quantities of gold in their soil. And all the 14 local governments in Zamfara have some gold deposits. And luckily for Zamfara, the mine of gold in, let's say, copper in Chile, you have to go almost a kilometer into the belly of the earth to get that. But in Zamfara, gold, which is even more precious than copper, you can get it by actually tilting the land a few meters. So I don't think people should be afraid of coming to discuss and issues that can actually make us better as a country.
Yes.
And because there is going to be collective responsibility, no matter what. So I don't think people should be afraid. I don't think it's what can give this country a more befitting look.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so you don't have anything against restructuring?
Yeah. People, so long as it's the kind of restructuring we want, not people hijacking political power or resources or corruption or whatever.
Okay. So, do you have any other questions for him?
Yes, sir. Mr. VP, sorry, my VP, can you please tell us how far you have done? You have gone with grassroots campaigns in the north. That's from Akinfure Soye Moses.
Since the nomination and the process we did at INEC headquarters, I've been to Bauchi, across very vast land. I have been to Katsina, I have been to Kano, where I train the people. They are always expressing their goodwill. People I meet on Cake and a Pear, people I meet in the marketplaces, and the university campus and the teaching hospital. And then, of course, my home state, Jigawa, and I am keen to move to Yobe, I think next week, and then also go to Maiduguri.
Takeitback.
So you have actually been around working tirelessly to ensure that, people are mobilized, and we can defeat the old order in those critical states in the north.
How old are you? Because you look younger than 42.
People always say that, and alhamdulillah, maybe it's something genetic in me. I think I have also been well taken care of by my parents. I've never been maybe in drug addiction or taking other substance, or I've always been healthy. I was a very good footballer.
Well, as in soccer.
Yeah, so
how come you didn't join the Super Eagles?
Super Eagles. But on campus, I happen to be one of the footballers. People love to come and watch play football. Yes.
Okay.
So they go call you Bonnie Sarah?
Yes.
What do you play? Which part of?
Well, it's not the name of footballer, that one. If I'm to be called any footballer, it would have been Garincha, which is the great Brazilian who was even better than Pele.
Wow.
Yeah.
Garincha,
yeah.
Garincha.
He won 2 World Cup titles with them and so on. Wow. Bonacere is actually a fictional character in the book called The Godfather by Mario Puzo.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, so I am a bit into literature as well. So that's why I got the
You are
name.
into literature?
I think so. But I'm not a man of letters or words.
Wow. You are. You've been doing a lot of speaking here today. That's
thanks. That's
nice. Your social media handles.
My
social media handles. They said you haven't been active on social media. Is there any reason why?
It's actually to get things done more, perfectly.
Yeah.
We are trying to see how we can inundate the social media with massive campaigns that can generate the right impact.
Yeah.
So it's re-strategizing to see that things are being done in the best of ways.
Yes.
Actually.
Or do you have a Facebook page where people can?
Yes. Dr. Ahmed Rufai, it is actually.
You heard that, guys. Dr. Ahmed Rufai. Can you spell your Ahmed?
Ahmed is
different ways.
not the Al Qaeda type. Yeah, people are more specific. It's Ahmed with AHMED.
And Rufai.
Rufai, yes.
Rafiu.
Yeah, I'm
FAR.
mistake that. I was a goalkeeper in this country with that.
Okay.
Yes.
How do you intend to take the Northern State back in 2019?
The Northern State is quite a very vast land with lots of votes, but at this moment, you know that APC is losing it. You've seen the chaos. It's a party that could not conduct a decent primaries. Everything is in shambles.
Yes.
It's a double standard. In one state, they do indirect. In some places,
they do direct. As it suits them.
Yeah, it suits them. And they keep getting divided and more divided. And APC is now going to hijack the space. And we are a party that is more inclusive than all these parties.
Action.
Look at it. We are thinking about even our unborn children, the children that are under 5, the adolescents, which is a large chunk of our northern people, and then of course the youth. They constitute about 60% of the people in this country, and they are keen every day, every minute into our philosophy, into our narratives, and then we're going to spread this across the country, not only in the north. So when you combine this and even the geriatric, I was speaking with some doctors that there is no specialty called geriatric medicine in this country. Can you imagine?
Wow.
And the people in Asarok are 75. Do you get that?
So Asarok clinic should be a geriatric department.
Center, absolutely.
Yes.
So we need to train some of our best medical minds actually to know how to take care of
old people
older than 65
because
years.
Our ancestors are president now.
Yes. So that is actually how I see. So we are more inclusive across both men and women, people in farms, people in their workshops, people on our campuses, people in places of worship,
so
churches, the mosque.
Yeah. So you think the Northerners are ready? People in the North, you know, the reason these questions are coming to is that they've been concerned before you were announced as VP that we don't have, you know, that kind of enough presence in the North to motivate people such that they understand that we can defeat Buhari. But now you're saying that
when I watch the TV, they call us third grade or whatever. We are not. We are first grade because we are a party with the right set of mix, the right set of ideas for 21st century in Nigeria.
Yes.
And this is, as the other guy said, you know, we are inconsequential, but this is the most consequential of elections in generations.
Yes.
So we're going to see how we can actually massively mobilize the youth and all and sundry that are interested in changing this country
for good.
So
once and for all. Yes. More questions.
Yes. How do you intend to integrate technology into the healthcare system?
Excellent. It starts with me because I have taught a number of courses on health informatics, meaning how you use the health ideas and then the information age together to bring about revolution in clinical governance, how best to keep medical records, how best to diagnose diseases. Nowadays, there are apps on our cell phones that can help you with drug information, with, you know, differential diagnoses, actually with, you know, I have done some software a bit as well.
Oh, yeah?
Called the clinical decision support system, whereby you don't only rely in your, on your cognitive ability to remember things, but it is being streamed as part of your work schedule, actually to be reminded by computers, by gadgets, that these are the right set of investigations to be done, these are the drugs to be given, and so on and so forth. So we are in 21st century, and I know he has been evangelizing the World Wide Web. You know, and in medicine too, we have come to appreciate the actually need to involve the technology.
Yes.
You know, there is health technology assessment being run on a lot of campuses. That is, to even procure an equipment, you've got to know how best it can serve you.
Yes.
What sort of efficiency is it going to introduce into the system? And all these things are being done by modern day technology. So we're not going to leave any stone unturned until we see that these opportunities are harnessed on our shores.
Someone says, are you ready to step on toes when big shots are involved in corruption?
Okay, maybe they haven't known my stories. I have done that always, and I'm always ready to actually look into your eyes and tell you the truth. Yes. And if you are found to be unruly, I don't think I'm somebody that can spare you, because what I saw in my home is diligence, decency, and I am not going to relinquish that or to actually chicken that or to go into a spine cowardice just because somebody is big in office or is having any power.
Do you have any progressive or dynamic youth leaders that can complement your effort in the North? Any good members of Arewa youth?
Yeah, we have people across different creed and interests coming to say, wow, what a noble idea you are. We love Sowore. He is smart. And I haven't told you what my mother told me about you.
You tell me.
Handsome man.
Wow. Your mother has been hanging out with my mom.
Yeah, definitely. So you realize actually people have seen your consistency. People have watched you, that great video with Moshood Abiola.
Yes.
That you've been doing it for 30 years. You've gone to all places. You have sacrificed so much to make this country better. They have seen how influential you are in exposing corruption across. Somebody said that this duo of Sowore and Rabiu, is sure they're not going to put these corrupt people into Atlantic Ocean?
That's very good.
You understand? So and this is what this country wants. This is what this country needs.
This is what the country is yearning for.
Yeah. So each time I receive call, not only in this country, believe you me, they've been calling me from United States, some places I've never even heard of.
Wow.
From India, United Kingdom is where I studied.
Yeah.
And the first call I received from there was a call from the head of center I finished for. He said that he had a rumor. I said, no, it is not. So,
Wow.
With your permission, can we publish it?
Well, in the school.
Yes, that is where also Wally Shoyinka finished from.
Leeds, yeah, University of Leeds, yes.
When you know there is a giant portrait of him at a center called Lucas, which is Leeds University Center for African Studies.
So here's what I'll tell you: the next biggest giant bust will be of you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'll work on it.
Yes.
Believe in me.
Thank you. I want.
Out.
Yes, I want us to hold up on the questions first, because so that you can take a little breather. You have done fantastic. I'm just in awe of you. I've met you personally, and I've been assuring people that by the time we bring you on the couch, this little couch here, that you are going to blow them away. And I'm blown away already. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Yeah. It's amazing. So, but we want to go into our financial. Do you have money?
Wow. I like this question. Please, let me tell you this.
Yes.
There are some quarters of this country. Before they think you are a politician, they will first think, man, you have to be corrupt.
Yes. And you must have stolen a lot.
A lot. And then you have to be so insane, so desperate that you can commit any carnage to get into political position.
Yes.
And this is really disturbing, actually, that it excludes the people that are well-meaning, that are nice, that are educated. Recently, the Emir of Kano appeared in different fora where he mentioned that we elect uneducated leaders in this
Illiterate, yes. Yeah. People with WAEC certificates that were manufactured, as attestation certificates.
So I feel actually politics is not only for the rich. According to a great person, he said that this antidote to this pessimism where people sit and pontificate about Nigeria, the antidote is to participate. So even if you don't have much in Naira, you can participate. Your PVC is the greatest asset you have actually to change the country. So I'm appealing to voters across the country actually to disregard vote buying.
See and buy.
It's actually one of the evils of our democracy here. People think they can buy your vote, and that's why in 4 years you wouldn't see them again, and they will be in some fancy, offices in Abuja, manipulating you, and of course, minted dollars now.
Yes.
The exchange.
Yeah. Let me ask before okay. That's our director right there. Yes.
So we'll move close to him.
Yes. So it's director right there.
Music break.
You want a music break? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not him, I was asking about you.
Okay. So this music, we want to do our financial summary update because we raise money on the couch every day, and hopefully you can donate some money to us tonight. I know people like you.
I don't have minted dollars.
Yes, when people like you are asked to donate money, you start talking about moral support, and they will ask you, well, how much is moral support? Yes. But hey, people, since we came here on the couch to raise funds last time, we have some summary for you. So you might have to bear with me a little bit, and because I'm sure people came here to listen to you. They're tired of hearing from me, and since I started listening to you tonight, I mean, just on this couch, you have been very articulate, and you've just been telling it as it should be. So, so the total amount of money raised since we began the challenge has now reached 7,363 naira, equivalent to 1,455,055.
Can you take it again? Our broadcast was on time.
Okay. So the amount raised since last fundraising event, which was on October 21st, 2018, through our Zenith Bank account in Nigeria, we raised 603,817 naira. GoFundMe has been 4,066 which is equivalent to 1,455,628 naira. So, total amount of money raised since last fundraising event, which was on the 21st of October, 2,059,455 naira. Total amount donated since the beginning of the movement campaign till date, Zenith Bank have reached 24,098,719 naira 58 kobo. GoFundMe has now reached $91,416. This is the equivalent of a 32,726,938 naira, using the foreign exchange rate of 353 to $1. Total raised for the campaign today, naira 58 kobo.
Thank you, guys.
So we want to quickly run through the names of people who have donated since we did the broadcast on the 21st. And also to mention that people are still donating in table water. Yes, this is very good, doctor. Drink this one.
I've been thirsty all day.
Yes, I know. You must run out of. You are dehydrated by now. So the donors have been Eyo Wawi Folagbade Rahman donated 1,000 naira. Ekundai Oluwayomi Moses 1,000 naira.
Thank you.
Adebaye Semiu 2,000 naira. Desi Rock Agro Allied Industry International transfer. We don't get to know their names except to send it to our phones. Oyefes Adedayo Mobolade 25,000 naira. Oyefemi 35,000 naira. Latifat Muradeyo 60,000 naira.
Thank you. Action.
Akinyosade Olushiji 10,000 naira. Mrs. Are MI 10,000 naira. Adegboyega Ahmed 20,000 naira. Fawole Lawrence 100,000 naira.
Thank you,
Action.
Fasha King Abimbola Kayode 3,000 naira. Elo Orioro Precious 5,000 naira. Kazim Quadri is 5,000 naira. Samuel Esiri Ovie 7,000 naira. Moses Williams 10,000 naira. Makonjola Adebola John 10,000 naira. Omobola Leola Onikpekun 20,000 naira. Ungbemena Dominic 20,000 naira. 350 naira. Ogode Helen Abien Mwens 1,000 naira. Chodende Elijah Otolorin 5,000 naira. Kike Lomo Moron Keji 10,000 naira.
Thank you.
Don Donatus Ezeogo 10,000 naira. Esosa Edosonwa 15,000 naira. Inyamu Meredith 20,000 naira. Adedamola Moron Keji 20,000 naira. Mafoiton Margaret Omolere, my sister, 20,000 naira. She's the one who made me this outfit.
Oh,
wow, yes.
and it's
Thank
beautiful.
you. Beautiful, my beautiful, beautiful sister from Elijah in Ondo State. Stephen Daniel, 1,000 naira. Solomon Kolawole Shoyemi, 2,000 naira. Bob Claire Isibo, 40,000 naira.
Thank you.
Abdusalam Arazim Omotola 5,000 naira. Igbino Baro Okweolua 10,100 naira.
Okay.
Ube Jonathan Ikwen 20,000 naira. Adamu Benjamin Okwe 2,000 naira. Kennedy Osui Magdalene Janet 5,000 naira.
Thank you.
Fajimi Olusoji Olawale is 10,000 naira. Balogun Olurotimi Idowu 5,000 naira. Joy Marian 5,000 naira. Bola Ajayi 5,000 naira. There's a pay stack payment here for 985 naira.
Thank you.
Okafo Vincent 72,000 naira.
Thank you. Action.
Mrs. Ebi Okoni 10,000 naira.
Thank you.
Somebody sent 20,000 naira through word remit. You don't have it. Ogba Romorake Olufemi 5,000 naira.
Thank you.
Jibola
Names
Grace
of donors being
Oluwafemi,
read out.
5,000 naira.
Thank you.
And Wakama Chukwuemeka Din, that was 20,000 naira. So out of this money that we mentioned here, 160,000 naira was money that was donated specifically for our members that died in a car accident in Delta State. Thus, the total donation to the campaign was 603,917 naira. We have already sent the 160K. Soul continue to rest in peace.
Amen.
So GoFundMe donate OG $20. Abiodun Long $100. Dave Alebe $20. Oluwole Awojobi $20. Julie Oyefeso $100. Joshua Obano $20. TT $30. Kolashade Olushpo $30. Adebola Adeyemi Kehinde $10. Taufiki Yusuf $10. Okeme Basi $20. Mavis Iwala $200. Adeola Makinde $50. Olariwaju Olabode $50. Helen Unwana $50. Sally Davy $30. Olufemi Oladende $100. Debola Adepeba $20. Yalex Ewere $30. Shakiru Ola Olushesi $350. Gabriel Akintayo $50. Elijah Shudende $10. Ademola Nifemi $10. Femi Aransiola, this guy is right there in Australia. Great guy, he was with us. Donated $20. Abiodu Fasomi $10. Joshua Obano again $30. Dave Alegbe $31. Baba Dudu $30. Alaba Ogunshonwo is $350. John Olaleye $15. Ibrahim Adeyonju $40. Izunowe Aibogun $200. Christopher Oladimeji $100. Elizabeth Ayodele $170. Ike Eno $25. Fred Yasere again is $100. Fred Yasere is $50. Jadel Rahim is $100. Olukule Fakie $100. Chimiodo Uche is $100. And Yalex Ewere came back again and gave another $35. But the biggest came today from Ade Awotedu, and he donated $1,000. Special mention tonight is Fawole Florence $100,000.
Thank you.
Okafo Vincent $70,000.
Thank you.
Mavis Iwala gave $200 of those $71,600. Shakiru Lushesi $350, which is 125,000 naira 300.
Thank you.
Baba Dudu $350, which is also 125,300. Izu Nowe Aibogun $200, which is 71,600. Elizabeth Ayodele $170, which is equivalent of 60,860 naira. And of course, Ade Awotedu today donated 1,000, which is 358,000 naira. And also, a friend of mine for so many years and lawyer, Dr. Tunji Abayomi, donated 100,000.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So that is our financial summary for tonight. I'm sure the couch tonight is for you. I'm just doing housekeeping and ensuring that information is reaching everybody. It felt like while we were announcing, some person donated some money again on GoFundMe. I'm going to check quickly before we go back to you, because this is your night.
Yes, excellent.
Tonight is your night, and this is your couch.
Yes.
You know, and this is Nigeria.
Yes. I'm very happy
Yes.
to hear these generous donations.
Yeah. This donation actually came to you specifically. Yes, this Chief Peter donated $20, and he says, "I'm glad you picked Dr. Rabiu. Kindly let him know that there are people like me out there in America interested in rural medicine in Nigeria. Let's get it done."
Done. Lovely.
Wow. So tonight, if you love Dr. Rabiu, Rufai, and the way he has been vibrating, you should completely make a donation to the campaign. Donate to the campaign. So he's going to be the person for whom all fundraisers will be done tonight. Typically, we get a lot of donation towards Zenith, especially the Dubai guys. Always donating to Zenith because of Zenith.
Exactly.
So we want people who are in love with public health, medicine, to donate to us because of Dr. Rabiu. One issue that I talk about a lot, because somebody was asking about technology and also modern medicine, is telemedicine.
Yes.
That a lot of people out there, Nigerians out there, who want to help, but they have left and they are not coming back until they can trust the new government that will form next year. What do you think the role of telemedicine can? What role can it play in helping to improve health in this country?
Each time I think about human resources for health, it touches my heart.
Yes.
We have, witnessed that the migration of our trained
health professionals,
personnel, and even United States of America and Britain cannot cope with a health system that is having difficulty with human resources. As I speak with you now, Britain is looking for over 40,000 nurses in the
48,000.
40,000 nurses of nearly 200 million people, with fewer doctors, fewer nurses, and fewer other health professionals like physiotherapists, the nutritionists, the people in the medical laboratories. So it is only ideal for a country to see to the so-called North-South learning and transfer of skills. So some of the people that immigrated and practicing abroad, we should create an enabling environment for them actually to come down when they're on holidays to give us services.
Yes.
You understand? It's been now done, but it's only for the privileged elites.
Yes.
Some private hospitals in Abuja are still accessing these highly skilled human resources in Britain, in America, and places to come weekends, and sometimes when they're on holidays to practice. But we need to expand that to the wider public.
Yes.
So we are going to allow people actually with the right set of skill actually to use the technology in medicine actually to see that our people are being served, using those
by a wide variety of people who are not within the borders of Nigeria. I tell people when I come to Nigeria and I have forsake, I get treated over the phone.
Yes.
I get food poisoning all the time. Eating too much of Kwabi and eating by the roadside. Yeah. So very interesting. Very interesting. Amazing.
So it's an area actually whereby we really need to collaborate, because the world now is a global village.
Yes.
A lot of people love to call it.
Yeah.
And we've still been plagued by diseases that
have already disappeared.
Yes, in other parts
on the surface of the earth. Yeah.
This is the capital of malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV.
And also the poverty capital of the world.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And you remember, we still see measles. I escaped measles as a child.
Wow. And
now children die needlessly because of all these infectious diseases that can be
people say they should connect
actually by standard antibiotics and so on.
Yeah.
So we need to do a lot. Maternal health is something that it's unbelievably high in this country. People actually get to hospital with ruptured uterus, they bleed and die, they lose their child, everybody is disturbed. So it's going to be a cornerstone of our services, public health service, actually turn the tide of infant mortality and child and maternal mortality in this country, because the two actually are inextricably linked together. So
let me read an update. Nkeruka Ugo donated $50.
Excellent.
To you. People are showing you a lot of love.
I've seen it.
You wanted to see
me to house?
Yes, Dwala, Nazwa. Kayakuri, Nazwa.
We'll come to that.
Yes.
Actually.
So honestly, I want you to just understand that people are loving you.
Excellent, yeah. And still on healthcare, I was discussing with some colleagues when I was at Amin Kanuchi Hospital a few days ago regarding the curriculum of medical education in this country. It needs some reform.
Yes.
Because people graduate and then they take some specialty. We need to have a system whereby we will now see our disease burden and just see how we can actually redirect people to specialize so as to cover a wide range of specialty. For instance, the geriatric medicine I was talking about that the people in Asarok need. We don't have a system that train people at postgraduate level to do that.
Wow.
And
We don't have.
And after training in this country, the system doesn't hold people. There are no incentive in research, in keeping people, and that's why they easily get pushed.
And they leave the country. And to the Caribbean islands, all the small islands in the Caribbean.
Absolutely. So what we
Trinidad and Tobago and all those places.
TNT. So what we need to do is actually to give people a first-hand experience of managing resources. So that people don't only graduate, with medical degree in their head, but they should be good managers of the information we generate, because that can give us the guide to policy making, can give us the guide to the kind of disease burden we have, and then people have to have a good understanding of finance, so that we can actually have resources, money, to run the system effectively.
Yes.
And then people have to have the ways of managing our equipment.
Yes.
These have been more important into this country from a more advanced technologies, Germany and so on, X-rays, machine, ultrasound, MRIs, and so on. So we need to have a system whereby you're not only knowledgeable about operating in theaters, but all the equipment you work with, you should know how to manage them, how to maintain them. Ask the doctors, if you build a ward of 20 beds, how many nurses do you need to manage it? Most of them don't know, which is about human resources management.
Yeah.
So you've got to know that the right skill, the number of nurses, of physiotherapists, of lab people we need, and even doctors. So the idea of just medical education is not enough.
Yeah.
You have to have management alongside. So this is also a very important area that can help us a long way of providing health services that are honestly needed, particularly in the rural communities.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Take it back.
Action. I think somebody probably made another donation.
I haven't told you this.
Yes.
On hospital corridors, when I go to the maternity, help a woman deliver, what's the name of that doctor, please? They say it's Rabiu. I'm going to convince my husband to have our child named after him.
Wow.
So you keep getting this kind of, love from people, and people appreciate what you do. and you feel really satisfied because it gives you more energy tomorrow to go out and perform.
That's true. Peter Olawuni donated $50 to show some love to you.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Felix Osaze Agmonla Hall donated $100 to show some love to you.
Thank you.
I want to
These are people that I haven't seen or met,
never,
apart from the social space.
Yes, these people are, they want this country to
I can
change.
Because
tonight, they can't even wait.
Yeah, I've had them, I've met some of them, I've actually seen really go for it, right? So some of them were my teachers, some of them were former senior colleagues, some of them were actually even family members.
Wow.
You can imagine cousins, sisters, brothers calling, because I have this very extended family in the across Yobe State and Katsina.
Wow.
And so on. Yeah. And in Jigawa State, I also deal with the Fulanis actually. They go on hard in cattle and God. And once they had it, they couldn't help it. This is why the posters.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's now all over the roundabouts in Dutse.
That's
and
amazing.
other environs actually. And I was in one local market actually to also go and see what is happening there. And it's disheartening actually how our government have left our, business premises dry. Because people in maybe stock exchange think GDP is a leap you can just pluck from tree. They don't know that you walk the walk. You
Exactly.
understand? Yeah, to create
Not just
wealth.
talking the talk.
Yes. Within the last 4 years, there have been incidents of fire outbreaks in our markets because the government felt, well, you guys, you are business people, go and control yourself, no incentives. It's my idea actually set against the poor. You grow crops for 4 months. At the end of the rainy season, you harvest, and then you take to the market for sale.
Wow.
And then there are no good banking. I told you my local government doesn't have a bank.
Wow.
Which is a town with a lot of educated people. And with markets and with.
Do they have cell phone?
They have, but we use that a lot. So, but after selling, then on your way back you get robbed by armed robbers because you come with liquid cash.
Wow.
So it is expected that the financial institutions should come to our aid. That we try to actually have first, fire services actually outpost. We need to give marketplaces security.
Yes.
We need to give marketplaces the right infrastructure in terms of warehousing. We need to give them actually filling stations. We need to give them hotels so that you can deposit money if you want to buy rams and cattle. I'm sure you guys are in love with kilishi.
Yeah.
You can deposit your money and then take a flight to Kano, and then you do the transaction, and then the next day you are back to Lagos, and then your product can follow you, so that people aren't being, pushed into the risk of being robbed by armed robbers along the way.
Yeah.
So that's something I think about businesses. And the last 4 years, I've told you, over 10 markets, billions of money, including the famous Kano market called Yimi Market, was on fire for nearly 24 hours.
There's no firefighters.
No firefighters, and a lot of money.
And when they came, there was no water.
Yes. There was no water.
Yeah.
And you can imagine. That market should have helicopters always on standby with water and the right training and the drills so that they can, quell these incidences and so on. So this is my plan. Agriculture, we've talked about it a little bit earlier. And then I also need to re-emphasize that, you see, gone are the days when we hold hoes actually to go on tilting. We need to mechanize. It has always been.
There's always been that we're taught that mechanized agriculture will bring about food security.
Every local government.
How come we're not buying tractors? We're only buying, Prado Jeeps.
Of course, they are there. The primary school I finished many years ago now has not expanded, but you see the people around building all sorts of
huge mansions
and cars and so on. So it's really important that we redirect our policies to actually where we can have the maximum economic benefit and to have peace and prosperity across the Nigeria. I've spoken with some Easterners people in a group. They say, we also have similar markets that they operate on the days of the week, and they suffer from the same consequences that I see, in northern Nigeria. Wow. So we really have to bring all this to an end. The middle class you see in southwestern Nigeria profited from the policies of our education.
Yes.
Now, when you talk of education, people feel the word free. I just want to say that the government has to invest massively in education, so that everybody, is educated at certain level, so that the middle class will keep getting broader.
Yes.
It is natural to have very rich elite in any country, but they are just 1% of the society. But the large middle class is what brings about, economic boom. Northern Nigeria is one of the most unequal societies in the world.
Wow.
Because Dangote, who has a lot of properties and a lot of investment across Africa, and here is the capital of his headquarters and so on. It's just few walks away from where I did some Quranic education in Kano, Ogi in particular, and then there are ragtag poor people around the vicinity. And between Dangote and Rabiu, there will be about 2 to 3 or 4 strata.
Yes.
And below me, there are, so it's the most unequal. If you go to the economists, they talk about Gini coefficient. I think it's approaching 9, which is the highest.
You say that again. Did you say Gini coefficient?
Yeah, which is a measure of how unequal people
are. Yeah. This guy's loaded, man.
No, come on.
This guy no book.
And with that, you know what you miss?
Yeah.
Social capital. When people are angry with each other, they will not look after themselves. And that is why when Boko Haram came, people were not there to protect their neighbors. People were not there actually to help each other, because everybody is different from another economically.
Yeah.
And that is what we lose. So we want to see a large middle class being developed because of skill and skill jobs that are going to be given. These are what plumbers, engineers, architectures, quantity surveyors, carpenters and so on. And IT drives the day. One of the richest part of the United States, you live there for nearly 20 years, is California, courtesy of the Silicon Valley and the tech giants, eBay, Google and so on. India is benefiting from that. Because some of the CEOs of this are actually ethnically from India, and they're helping to export jobs actually into their own. I remember Narendra Modi actually went there to sway these people actually to think of their home country. So Nigerians also are abroad. So we want to see a system whereby, because it's well written, well documented in our manifesto, that in all the geopolitical zones we are going to have innovation centers that can compete with one another and to bring about the revolution in IT, because it's the trade of the day. So that a small kid like me from a village can develop an app, that we can use to solve human problems, and then he earns some fortune from it. It's been done all over the world. Let's see all the geopolitical zones having at least one center, of such, and then every state also has to devote, resources into developing such IT skills.
Well, let me quickly mention that you're getting more donations.
Excellent.
Adejoke Adelanwa just donated $20.
Lovely.
Thank
you for sitting on the couch with them tonight. They really love
it. I really appreciate it.
I'm starting to get jealous. I used to be the one who get all the accolades and support, but now you're here to share it.
Actually, they've been wanting me to speak and so.
Nigel Onamade donated $150. And it says, let me read it. It is time to take Nigeria back. I run an IT company that sets up the IT infrastructure for medical centers here in Perth, Western Australia. 80% of my clients are Nigerian doctors who run world-class medical centers. I believe we can do the same in Nigeria as long as we have conducive environment. When can Dr. Rabiu start to work?
Excellent. Wow. I've just spoken about this. And look at it popping out.
They are trying to reduce the Gini coefficient between yourself and Sowore.
That one, nobody can do anything about it. He's up there, and I'm like, this guy's Dangote.
You're the one up.
You guys will declare your assets soon.
Yes. I don't have any asset to declare except my intellect.
Yes. But something very personal and touching. There was a time my father, all of his children came at once asking for money for registration. And
registration for what?
For university.
Wow.
And one of them actually trained in Yola, electronics engineer. The other, my immediate senior brother, trained in Zaria as a mechanical engineer.
Wow.
And all my father had throughout his public life was to be a teacher in
My father was a teacher too.
Yeah,
that's why I turned out like messed up.
Absolutely. So I was the last actually to be given such money. He said, "But Rabiu, I have handful. I wish slavery could now be reintroduced so that I could sell myself to give you this money." I still feel that, and may his soul rest in peace. He was a remarkable and very decent human being. And so you can see what all this can do. And I have never ever taken my education for granted, and it's a privilege that I still enjoy. And I want to see it being spread across all the children of this country.
All the kids in Nigeria get the kind of education you got. I mean, it's amazing. I
want to throw this at Buhari. I think he thinks maybe the Almajiri system is a no-go area that he cannot tinker with, and that is a supine cowardice.
Yes.
You know, I haven't checked the WAEC results. I don't know how many subjects he passed, but it's on record that those schools of years, and even when I was in secondary school, we had dormitories, we had teachers, we had core members from all parts of the country teaching us. We had assembly ground, uniforms, and even sport facilities. That's where my love for basketball and football, we call it soccer, actually came from. Now, when you see the 20 million children on our streets,
and they said they can't touch them,
you know, emotionally,
physically,
even sexually. So the road and others are there as whatever, and their dignities have been, you know, severed. So it's time actually to call the shot and say, well, these guys also deserve to be accommodated. Their teachers need to be trained. You know, there must be food for them, so that they will be very, you know, important people in the future. Because this country is theirs. One day, wouldn't be there, and they will have to take over.
Yes.
And if a country can't invest in education of its people, I don't think what awaits is disaster.
Yes.
We've seen it in the Sierra Leone and Liberia. The war disrupted every, you know, system in the country in the 90s, and that's why when Ebola came, there were no nurses, doctors to handle the case. They even brought some to Nigeria.
Yes.
You remember the story of the lady that gave her life. Still, you know, comes to mind. And I went to our medical school. I saw a big hostel actually immortalized her name, Adedebo, and I said,
yes, Dr. Adedebo.
Adedebo, yes. She gave her life actually for us to enjoy.
Yes.
So that's really interesting.
Yes. I think people are setting more cameras, you know. If you are watching, please share this extensively.
I'm sure people are following, and
yes.
I'm sure more than
people are complaining that I look tired today.
Yes,
it's true. You're not lying. I am, you know, I'm beside the doctor.
I must tell you, each time I wake up in the morning, I see you on
social media
in Australia.
Yes.
And then I will say, okay, that's surely he'll be back soon. And then when he comes, we'll be in Lagos together. And then as I heard your arrival, then I heard you to Abuja.
Yes.
And as I came, wanting to see you, they say Ajegunle.
Yes, Ajegunle of all places.
Yes.
Especially if you are coming from Australia. You get to Ajegunle. It's like you live one of the extreme sanity, you know. I mean, you come from one extreme sanity to extreme insanity. That's what we saw in Nigeria.
Some part of Rio de Janeiro was like that.
Favelas,
Yeah, the favelas.
Yeah.
And what is slum to you? To me, it's a place with no infrastructure.
Yes.
So areas like Ajegunle would have to get the, you know, most serious refurbishment, because look at it. We're going to build schools there.
Yeah.
There are going to be hospitals.
Yes.
There are going to be recreational centers there.
Yes.
There will be a lot of things, even hospitality industry, hotels, so that we can give it a facelift. And we're going to use the local people in building this infrastructure.
Yes.
So some of the people in Ajegunle are going to be converted into builders. You understand?
They are ready. They already builders. They are already skilled. They just don't have the opportunities.
Yeah, and that's how all these shanty towns are going to get massive infrastructural, you know, development in these areas. And that's what I see actually.
So I met this Fulani man with 150 cows, and he said he's going to paste his posters on all of the cows as he's roaming around.
You found another Fulani man with 150 cows?
150 cows to campaign.
I thought it was only Buhari that had
his name
one.
is Buhari actually. To campaign for both of you. And
That's
someone
it.
saying, Dr. Rabiu, they want to hear you.
No, if he's to see us, I'm sure his media will take over.
And people are watching you, and one guy just said from Maryland, he's one of our guys, said, sure, this guy is so loaded. Good choice. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and then when I heard that word Gini coefficient, I'm like,
Take it back!
this is the kind of thing you hear once in your education life. Yes.
No, actually, if I have my time, I will study history,
Yeah.
journalism,
Yes.
and mathematics.
Wow.
Yeah, but it is sad to notice that at a point in this country, they remove history
From
the
education
secondary school.
curriculum, yeah.
So we have some people in the army now, maybe in some base with no knowledge of what a forest is, what a savannah
Wow.
is.
Wow.
And that's why, and Boko Haram, they are not novice. They've been trained in some pockets of Agadez and coming to attack our soldiers. Because these guys do not have the right set of knowledge to fight war.
Wow.
And guerrilla war for that matter. And
Guerrilla
they took
warfare.
advantage of a very strategic point where they can melt into either Chad, Niger, or Cameroon.
Yes.
So history is also very important because it tells us about who we are and where we are heading to. Like I was discussing some political development in the country. The people that were in Nepal, they succeeded because they were mobilizing. Could you imagine that my father as a scribe, after taking minutes of meetings with Malam Illa and Co, then he would have to transport himself maybe 120 kilometers by his feet. That was only available. He had no bicycle or a donkey at that time.
Wow.
And these were the things that the political elite at that time that they didn't find funny because they knew they were going to lose it in the extortion of taxes they were making against the people.
Yeah.
So they had them in prison in 1958. He served a number of days in prison. And when I saw this man telling me the stories, I couldn't help but shed tears.
Wow.
Because I've known him to be a very meticulous, decent person. Why would he just go to prison for expressing political opinion?
Yes.
But he wasn't the only person. That's the struggle of Aminu Kano, Alaji Sani Gule, if you're from Kano, Modi speaking.
Yes.
Many of them, actually. And our generation actually missed the 80s and 90s because of military dictatorship.
Yes.
So we were the generation that were born and there was serious democratic deficit. No political accountability, no rule of law.
Yes.
You know, you've suffered that too.
Oh, a lot, yes.
As it is now, the 20 years of this democracy is more of a continuation of such manipulations.
Yeah.
We have parties that are APC and PDP, but do you see any difference?
No,
I don't.
Yes. Let me quickly just say that we're going to do some reconciliation so that we can announce people have donated through Zenith Bank account.
Excellent.
You know, Zenith Bank is a clumsy bank when it comes to their online activity. I couldn't download, people are donating. So we have an accountant all the way in Texas. Please, if you can help us check on what we have so that we can release to them, our people here, how much we raised on Zenith Bank since we started. Would appreciate that. So a lot of people actually were hoping to hear from us on Instagram. Why come we're not on Instagram? And I thought we have also reached a point where we need to be using our YouTube account as well.
Yes, YouTube is on. YouTube is
Streaming live?
Yes.
But we're not on Instagram today. So next time. And Dr. Rabiu Ahmed Rufai is also live on his Facebook page.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I want to make a special appeal. Our phone has run out. Some of our devices have run out of memory. So if you have used Samsung S9, it's very fine. It's very hard to find a used one. Yes. If you have used Samsung S9, please donate to us. If you have used iPhone X, no, it's iPhone XR. If you have a used one, the one that came out last week, if you have a used one, please donate to us. We really need a lot of these devices. We want to also create, Takeitback Hausa, Takeitback Igbo, Takeitback.
Also talking Hausa.
We have already. So, Douala in as well. So, so about range. Now good day. So say, so say, yeah. Go back our Hakane. So we will be. People want to hear you speaking Hausa, and actually raise funds from all those Fulani herdsmen that you say you met. Yes. Those guys are loaded. They have money, and so we want you to talk to them any moment from now. But and somebody is doing the reconciliation. So while you do that, I might take a short break, but you continue.
I have a suggestion. What about Selami? Interview him for 5 minutes now.
In Hausa?
Yes.
That's true. Selami, Zoana, okay? So get ready, come and talk to him while we reconcile, and we'll be back. Oh, wow. Wear your shoes, though. Yes. No, you keep sitting down. Selami will continue interviewing you from there.
Allow him
She's the one she's the radio VJ. She knows what to do.
That counts. Okay. Not good, yeah. Alhamdulillah. Good.
So, kai ne ka fita ma shugaban kasar Nigeria, not exactly shugaban kasar Nigeria, but as vice president. So, what are your plans? Mene abubuwa da za ka yi in ka fito?
Na gode kwarai da gaske. Jama'a 'yan uwana, ne muku barka da wannan yammaci. A san dare ne a nan, amma a duk inda kuke ina muku gaisuwa, ina muku fatan alkhairi. Kamar yadda ya zama sani ne a gare ku, sunana Rabi Ahmed Rufai, kuma ni ne abokin tafiya na wannan takara. Ni ne zan zama mataimakin shugaban kasa na wannan kasa mai albarka a zaben da za a yi a baɗi a cikin watan Fabrairu. Kamar yadda kika tambaye ni kan cewa me nake so ne wa ƙasa, gaskiya mun haɗo kalmomi da muka haɗa su muke da su ne manya-manyan ƙudurin wasu abubuwa ne muke da su a wurin guda 9, kuma kowanne yana da wato ɓangarori da yawa da zai wato da za mu kalla daga ciki, so yana da fuskoki da dama. Abubuwan sun haɗa da wato harkar tsaro. Mutane suna son su zama an suka kwanta bacci sun yi bacci babu tashi hankali, kuma dukiyoyinsu su ma a tsare musu. Okay, na ce dukiyoyin mutane ya kamata a tsare musu da rayukansu, saboda kulli yomin idan ka tashi za ka ji abubuwan da ba ka so ka ji a ƙasar nan. An kashe wannan, an yi kidnapping, an yi kaza, an kashe shanun Fulani da gingimu da suke da nasaba da ƙabilanci da addini, kullum kamar ƙara ta'azzara suke. Kusan tun daga 1999 har yanzu kusan babu wani sauki. Da aka zo aka yi zaɓe shekaru 4 da suka gabata, an ɗauka za a samu sauƙin wannan harkokin tsaro, amma gaskiya ba a sami abin da ake so ba. Na biyu kuma shine harka wato ta lantarki da kuma makamashi. Mutane suna son su zama suna da kamfaninnika da za su ke ɗaukan mutane ma'aikata, walau harkar wato abin da kira textile da turanci, ko kuma harkoki ne da za a yi na abinci, ko kuma harka ce ta sarrafa wani abu. Dukka kamfanin kan kusan a ƙasa suke a ƙasar nan. Kika je ki Kaduna, ka je Kano, kika zo ki nan Lagos, ka tafi wurin Port Harcourt, irin su Jos da take tsakiyar Najeriya, da kamfanin da suke son su tashi amma babu makamashi ko kaɗan. So muna son mu kawo makamashi, kuma makamashi ba wai kawai na harkar wutar lantarki da ake samarwa ta kogi, ta ruwa da sauransu ba. Harka ce ta wato iska da Allah ya bamu, ta hasken rana, da kuma sinadarin uranium wanda ƙasar mu maƙociyar ruwan Niger take da shi, wanda shi ma ana iya amfani da shi a yi makamashi. Idan kika tuna kuma abin more rayuwa da turanci ake kira infrastructure, ba wai kawai a gina wai titi kamar da ake faɗa ba, harkar sufuri za su inganta, harkar noma ana buƙatar a yi dam da madatsar ruwa da za a tara ruwa.
Kana magana da kana faɗa wai noma ba na shinkafa kawai ba.
Kwarai da gaske, ai wato noma, abubuwan da za a noma suna da yawa. Abin da za a noma ba wai kawai na ci ba, har wanda za a siyar a samu kuɗi, mutane su samu kuɗi, saboda arziki ya wadata a wurin mutane. Idan kika ɗauki harkar auduga, yanzu kusan yara yanzu ba masu taɓa ganin ta ba a gona. Amma lokacin da yake yaro, na kai wurin kakanni na a Katsina, cikin da gonakan auduga za ku je ku yi ta wasan ɓoye-ɓoya. Saboda haka za mu dawo da harkar alkama. Ko ina kika je a duniya da wahala ba ki ga fulawa ba. Kek ne, biredi ne, tuwon alkaman ne, ɓarjan duka. Ita ma ana samun kuɗi kusan ko ina a duniya za ka iya kai ta ka sayar. Amma yanzu ba ta sami wato tagomashin da ya kamata ba. Idan kika ɗauki wato noma na koko, wannan inda muke a ƙasar nan yanzu, in kika je garin Ibadan ma akwai wani wuri da ke kira koko house, saboda suna ganin da irin wannan arzikin da suka samu ne na koko, suka gina garuruwansu, suka yi wa mutanensu abin arziki na harkar lafiya na ilimi. Kuɗin da aka sayar na koko yanzu ina yake, kusan ya zama tarihi. Saboda haka ya kamata a dawo da wannan abu. Wato cin hanci da rashawa ma dole sai mun sa ƙafar wando da mutanen da suke yin wannan. Ba ma wai a zo a ce sai an zo an yi ta rikici da wannan, amma ta kasace kuɗin ba za a kawo wato manhajoji na sabon abubuwan da ake da shi na wato fasaha ta zamani da za ta hana ka kasace kuɗi, kuma ko da ka sata ana kallon ka yadda za ka yi sabbin kamuwa. Duka suna da ciki. Ilimi da harkar lafiya dama kowa ya sani su ne ginshiki na cika da tumbatsa al'umma. Duk al'ummar da ba za ta zama mai ilimi ba za ta taɓa samun wata hazara ta kirki ba, ba za su zama sun fice ba, ba za su zama suna da wato dogaro da kai ba. Saboda haka su ma waɗannan harkoki za mu fita birni da ƙauye mu tabbatar mutane sun zama masu ilimi.
Mu dakata nan mu ɗauka su tambayoyi.
Akwai tambaya nan. An ce Buhari ya ce mu lazy youth ne.
Da gaske ne?
To, kwanan nan daga zaɓe da aka yi a ƙasar Brazil, a jiya sati ɗaya kenan ko kwana 5, sai ga shugaban ƙasar da aka zaɓa har ya fito da listin ministocinsa wanda za su taya shi aiki sati ɗaya. A ƙasar nan aka yi gwamnati ta zo ta ci zaɓe, ta koma ta kwanta, ta yi ta sheƙa bacci, sai da aka yi wata 6 ban ma san ina za mu je ba.
Gwamnati na kiwo yake.
To, me zan ce akan wannan? Gaskiya 'yan Najeriya a ce musu sun zama masu lalace ba ya musu adalci ba. Saboda idan kika je ki birni da ƙauye, ki ga mutane suna ɗaukar wato sana'o'insu da kima. Kika zo ki nan yammaci, kudu maso yammacin Najeriya, ki ga mutane suna yin safa da marwa, kullum suna son su nemi na kansu. In kika je ki kudancin Najeriya, ƙasar Igbo, za ki ga mutane nan ma kullum safara suke dare da rana. Na ga mutane a gonakai, a wurin yin gini, harkar sufuri, harkar kasuwanci. Saboda ka ce musu wai ko ɗalibanmu a makaranta babu ma tagomashi na tallafi amma a haka suke dagewa su je su cikinsu da yunwa suna son su zama masu ilimi saboda su zama masu alfahari da kansu kuma su zama ƙasar nan ta samu wato ta goma shi na irin gudunmuwar da za su bayar bayan sun zama mutane, tunda su ne za su zama nurses, su ne za su zama malaman makaranta, su ne za su zama injiniyoyi, su ne za su zama likitoci, akawunta da sauransu. Kuma wannan fa maza da mata.
Wani ya sake a shigo.
An ce wannan magana Hausa, za ka yi magana Igbo ma?
Lalle kam.
So wannan maganan Ganduji a Kano, ya kaji wannan magana?
Wato
bai kamata ya cire shi kamar gobe ba?
Wato ni ba abin ma da ya kaɗa ni daga shi Ja'afar da ya ce ga bidiyo sai suka ce masa to ya zo suna gayyatarsa majalisar jiha. To ganin abin da ya ce ya kira ruwa rayuwar sama tana cikin haɗari, amma da ya ga lalle ko ɗan Kano ne shi ma da ya ga lalle abin yana da girma kuma ya ce ya yi shi ne saboda a kawo tsafta a cikin yadda mutane suke gabatar da kansu wurin ayyukan gwamnati. Haka ya je ya hau jirgi ya je shi sukutun ma ya ɗauko alkur'ani mai tsarki ya rataya aka faɗarsa ya je shi ko za a samu a yi rantsuwa. Aka je bahasinsa aka sallame shi. To sati ɗaya ne ko biyu a tsakani wannan majalisar da ya to shi ma gwamnan ya zo, kuma shi ne dama ake kira ma a yi rule of law da turanci, ya zama dokokin da za su taɓa Rabiu su za su taɓa Sowore, su za su taɓa Buhari, su za su taɓa kowa a nan ƙasa. To wallahi je da shi aka waye gari karfe 10 ta yi sai kawai rika kawo zantuttuka kauli da ba'adi, sai wai kwamishinansa ne na haɗa labarai ya ji. To ban san dai me suka tattauna ba, to har yanzu dai abin yana nan, amma gaskiya 'yan Najeriya da mutanen Kano an cuci mutane shekaru da shekaru. Wayannan abubuwan an daɗe ana yin su, yanzu ne ake ganin sun fito fili. To ya kamata lalle mutane su duka da kansu.
Ni ina da tambaya. Kasan muna magana wa shu a jihar Ekiti an karba 5,000 ko 10,000 a jihar Zabe wani, amma a Kano ne an haife ni, kuma na san ana karba 200. Akwai so 200 da zabe mutum. Na san nan ma karba naira 50. Na san ana karba sigari daya a zabe mutum a Kano. Ya za mu iya sayar da irin wannan abu?
Wallahi abu ne mai tada hankali. Kusan tun da wannan demokradiyya ta dawo yau wurin shekara 20, walau a PDP ne walau a APC ne, ya zama wato sana'a. Yanda ake shi ne za ka ibi kuɗin mutane kai ta jido kamar ɓera. Sai sa wani ma yake cewa wai ko wannan wato tambarin Najeriya din nan, ko wannan dokunan dawakan nan za a cire a saka ɓeraye, saboda shi yake nuna irin halin da shugabanninmu suke yi. To amma kuɗin fa da shi za a yi maka burga, sai abin da ba ma sa bukata, su ba wa 'ya'yansu abin da ba su cancanta su samu ba, su ɗauki wani daga cikin kuɗin su barnata, su ƙi gina makaranta, su ƙi gina titi, su ƙi gina asibitoci wurin shan magani. Sai kwatsam an ce yau an sa ranar zaɓe, sai ki ƙara ganin sun zo a wasu irin manyan motoci wanda ba za ka iya ganin mutum ba, amma da yake zaɓe ne sai fito da kansa ta saman ya zo ya ce ai gashi kuma zai baka kuɗi ko ka sai ganin kwai. Abin da muke so mu gaya wa talaka 'yan uwanmu shine bayan da za ka kai shekara 4 kana jin yunwa mutum bai kula da kai ba, sai rana ɗaya ya zo ya ɗauki naira 200 ya baka kawai ya jika makogaranka na yini ɗaya, sannan kuma ya saka zaɓe shi. Gaskiya
amma wayansu suna karba suna yin zaɓen nan don addini, don namu ne.
To gaskiya dai hakan ba zai zama daidai ba, saboda ka san mutum, ka san yanayinsa, ka san alƙawarurkansa, ka ga halinsa a baya. Tunda yanzu idan kika je ki wani wurin, ina jin ma ko ina ne a Najeriya, in kika ce ni gashi ina da tarbiyya, ina da ɗa'a, na yi aikin gwamnati ban ci kuɗin kowa ba, ban ciwo kowa zarafi ban yi kowa kuma a zaɓe ni a ɗan takara ko da kan suna da cewa za a ce ake ba ɗan siyasa. Saboda abinda mutane suka na siyasa shine ka zama ɓarawo, ka zama maha'inci, ka saci kuɗin gwamnati, ka gina kanka, ka zama ƙasogon mutum da ba za ka taɓu ba, ko shine siyasa. Wannan ba daidai bane ba. Ko kuma kai amfani da addininka ka ce ai duk kunan musulmi ne yan wana ko duk ku kirista ne yan wana, saboda haka dan haka ku zaɓe ni. Wannan ba daidai bane. A zaɓi mutum bisa cancanta, bisa adalcinsa, bisa abubuwan da ya iya gabatarwa a da. Saboda haka gaskiya mu ba jam'iyya ce da ta zo wai ta rarraba kuɗi mu ɓarnatar da kuɗi ba.
Akwai tambaya nan cewa ya za mu iya yi mutane a arewa su dinga tattare ka kaman ana tattare wa Omoyele Sowore nan. In mutane suna kalle ka kan Facebook ya zama kaman 5,000 ko 40,000 haka. Kaman haka. Tunda kai ba cewa kana amfani da social media da yawa ba.
Ina yi kwarai kwa ai ban taɓa raina irin gudunmuwar da za ta iya kawowa wurin yaɗa manufa ba, wurin wato magana da mutane da za su zama masoya, wurin isar da saƙo. Ban taɓa raina ta ba tun da ta zo a shekara ta 2007 kusan nake da peji da nake yin ma'amalanta kuma na koyi abubuwa, kuma lokaci ya zo da ta ga wannan kafar zan je in ci gaba da haɗuwa da mutane da muke da ra'ayi iri ɗaya akan mutanen da muke so mu ciyar da al'umma gaba, walau a kudancin Najeriya ne walau a arewacin Najeriya ne. Ala ayi halin ya kamata mu fahimta kan cewa arewacin Najeriya wuri ne da yake da faɗin ƙasa da yawan mutane. Wani lokacin ita harka ta wannan manhajar Facebook ko social media gaba ɗaya, Twitter, Instagram ba ta isa ba. Za ka je ka wani wurin dole
amma
sai an
akwai wasu
ganka.
da sun iso kamar su rediyo.
Rediyo ma a arewacin Najeriya ni yanzu kika tambaye ni rediyo na nawa na ga miki zaki mamaki sun kai 3. Akwai ta kama BBC, akwai ta kama haka ne, haka VOA da Deutsche Welle da sauransu. Saboda haka za mu je gidajen
za mu dinga ganka akan rediyo
sosai kwa, za mu je FM, za mu je Kano, za mu je Bauchi, za mu je Jos, za mu je mu ci gaba da yaɗa manufa mai ta nemo masoyanmu wanda muke da ra'ayi na ciyar da kasar mu gaba. Mutane masu kishin ƙasa, ba kishin kansu ba kishin aljihunsu ba, maza da mata, yaro da babba, birni da ƙauye, a wuraren kasuwanci, a makarantu, a gonakan mutane. Lalle su taho mu haɗu mu haɗa kai mu gudu tare mu tsira tare. Najeriya ƙasar mu ce, bamu da ƙasar da tafi ta.
So akwai kudi da yawa a arewa. Ya za ka samu kudi din a wannan campaign? So ka yi magana da su.
Kamar yadda ya yi tambaya Sowore ya ce kana da kudi?
Haka ya tambaye ni. Ni ba mai arziki ba ne ba. Na taso ne a gidan da kusan in ce ba kasuwanci muke ba, mu dai almajirai ne muna neman karatu. Yanzu kuma lokaci ya zo da lalle kuɗi zai amfani wurin yaɗa manufa, mu je mu ga mutane tafiye-tafiyen mu cikin sauki, saboda duk inda ake samu muke da mutane wallahi za ku yi mamaki, daga Maiduguri, daga Jalingo, daga ba inda ba mu ga mutane suna so su kira ka a waya, wani a yi ma message, wani a za mu je duka mutar da su. Kuma waɗannan mutane da muke da su za mu zo nan ma mu zauna mu ce musu to ga mu mai taro, mai sisi, mai kobo, mai naira ya ba mu wato shi kansa gudunmawa saboda yi kishi ƙasarsa, saboda a taru a kawo canji.
Yaushe za a fara?
A yanzu nan ina sauka zan tattaro kan abokanina duk inda suke, kuma na yi abota da mutane tun daga firamare zuwa sakandare. Wasu abokan zaman gari ne, wasu abokan sana'a ne, wasu abokan gaisa ne, makota ne, wasu kuma mutane ne da harkoki na arziki suka haɗa ku da su, walau a harkar makaranta, walau a harkar yin aiki, walau a harkar zamantakewa na gari, ko kuma harkokin wasanni, ƙwallon ƙafa da sauransu. Za mu zo mu ce musu to ga mu muna buƙatar taimakon ku, kuma Allah yadda ba za su ba mu kunya ba. kuna ganin mutane a ƙasashen da suke wallahi azim wasu ba sa bacci.
Wasu zan bar wannan sashe don mu sake kira shugaban kasan zai zauna.
To ina son amfani da wannan dama in gode wa masu sauraro wannan soyayya da ake nuna mana, muna ƙara godiya. Allah ya bar zumunci, Allah ya sa burin ya cika, Allah ya taimake mu. Saboda haka za mu gayyato a shore mu ci gaba kuma. Mun gode ƙwarai da gaske.
Thank you.
Needless to say, so we have just a few more minutes to go. We have to end this by 11:30. Where's the reconciliation in terms of latest donations?
The accountants from PricewaterhouseCoopers are still working very hard at it.
PricewaterhouseCoopers, but I have some interesting stories. I mean, interesting news here. You know, more donors. I think a lot of people are interested in public health.
Yeah, they are.
And then it turns out that a lot of them also like you.
Come on.
Yes. So Osiris Kimati donated $250.
Thank you.
He said the time to kick out the colonialists along with their puppet so-called black leaders and take back our mother and fatherland to develop it for our youth, so that they're no longer, they no longer have to flee to European and Asian countries where they are humiliated and taunted with daily bread that was stolen from the same land that they fled from. Take it back and develop it for us. Thank you so much. Adebayo Ojo donated $20 as well.
Thank you.
So I'm trying to get that Zenith Bank update, which hasn't come yet. They don't have. Yeah, well, it would have come through my. Do we have any? Yes, except we change the device. That's the problem. Anyways, we will resume tomorrow. When we return tomorrow, we'll give you more updates. Thank you so much, Doctor, for coming on the couch tonight. A lot of people are now very happy and excited that you're here and you give a good account of yourself. Yes. So we'll let you go and have some dinner.
Yes.
Is this your first time in Lagos?
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be a joke. You know,
Yeah.
don't fall for it.
Yes.
You know, people who live in Lagos think that nobody else has ever been in Lagos except.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Fake people. You know. So it's a joke. Thank you so much.
Sir, before we go, wait, DJ. There was a donation just when you went out from the chalk. She says she's donating the chalk.
The chalk.
Yes. She
The
says she's
chalk.
donating 10,000 naira because the VP is the most handsome and
Whoa,
most intelligent
wow.
Nigeria has ever
So-
had.
Let's wait till those Yari and start donating from
So now we can now round up, sir.
Yes. There's someone here who also made a donation of 10,000 naira, who's a member of Takeitback, because this is Onemola, our Abuja coordinator, Bodunde. She donated and 10,000. She's a public health professional.
Oh, excellent.
She obtained a public health degree from Columbia University.
Yes, excellent.
Huh?
We don't accept nepotism. Favoritism.
So 10,000 came from her, and
You know,
so
we know how hard we want to work to salvage.
yes, man, it's,
This conundrum.
we're already working very hard
Absolutely.
just to get there.
I must give you the credit, and your team. They always make me feel very lazy.
No. You are going to be working very hard. The thing is that the team people know how to make people work, you know.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
and Dr. Josh is going to make you work. He'll work you behind, you know, very hard.
I'm not that bad. Okay,
You
I
are
am,
worse.
but
You are worse.
it will work.
Thank you so much, everyone. We have 5 more minutes. Actually, 3 minutes now. But I want to thank you so much for coming. People love the flow, the interaction. Because nothing is going to be better than also having the president and a VP who can interact very well. There's no tension between. We are all young people. You know, we have an outlook towards life that is almost the same way. So there won't be any tension. This is the one that they say you buy one get one free.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So this our VP can run Nigeria as well, if not better than the president. So if under any circumstance.
Vote of confidence.
Huh?
It's a vote of confidence.
Yes. If under any circumstance I decide to go and do marathon, and not to come back,
it's funny in this country if the president slaughter around, which everybody that is
they take for granted. They have to announce it.
They put it on the social media. The president has slaughtered around. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
The president walk maybe 800 meters to go to. It's a big celebration.
Yeah. And now the one yesterday, the president just came back from the moon. Yeah. He got an attestation of certification, you know. I've been looking at the dictionary for the meaning of attestation, certification. Is it how was it called exactly?
But I can suggest something for you.
Certificate of attestation.
Certificate of attestation, attestation certificate.
When people are putting two big words,
Some
you
lexicographers, they are the ones that each year they sit and put some new words into English dictionary.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, we'll send them this.
This one, yes.
In Oxford.
Oh my goodness, it doesn't end. So thank you so much. We have 2 more minutes to go. People who are itching to dance, actually a minute to go. They want to play some music. Would you be willing to dance?
Well, I love music. I know who is your most favorite musician.
Who is your favorite musician in Nigeria?
Well, I'm more voracious than you think.
Wow.
Because
Tell us.
Music, wherever it comes, however it's been played, guitar, drums, whatever, from Latin America through the Arab world, of Nancy Ajram and Kulthum of Egypt, down to Mamman Shata and the fella Anikula Kokote.
Wow.
It's all welcome.
So who is your favorite in
Nigeria, of all these new guys? Are you dance shaku
New
shaku?
ones. Can you dance
Oh
shaku
my
shaku?
goodness. If I tell you the obesity,
Wow.
And by the way, King Sonny, I have seen him perform live in Ondo Town.
Wow.
Yeah. At the time that they celebrated, I think, 20th anniversary or 30th anniversary of Ondo as a state.
Yeah.
I was there. He performed in the government house, and you need to see my steps.
Oh.
But sir, you've not answered the question.
Yes.
Who is your favorite musician?
Believe you me, my best music is the next music.
Oh.
Anything that is good.
His best music is the next music.
Yeah.
Next music, please.
This one a philosopher.
That's the next music.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break until tomorrow, same time, same place. It's good night from our Takeitback team over here. I want to thank all of you who are behind the cameras, doing a lot of jobs, the directors, photographers, camera people, our IT people, tech people, our food people, water people, the DJ.
Hey, hey.